Nearly 1 in 4 women in the United States will have an abortion in their lifetime. But with a hostile Supreme Court, extremist state governments are no longer chipping away at constitutional rights. They are bulldozing right through them.
We're having another hearing on a state law, on an issue over which this committee has absolutely no jurisdiction.
Whether a pregnancy is planned or unplanned, or even the result of horrific circumstances, ending that child's life with an abortion to empower or protect the, quote, freedom, end quote, of the mother is not an answer.
I answered the door and quietly told him he could come in, imagining that we would talk and laugh like we had done over the phone. But the next thing I knew, he was on top of me, messing with my clothes and not saying anything at all. What is happening? I thought. I didn't know what to do. I was frozen in shock, just laying there as his weight pressed down upon me. When he was done, he got up, he pulled up his pants, and without a word, he left. That was it. I was confused, I was embarrassed, I was ashamed. I asked myself, was it something that I had done? Choosing to have an abortion was the hardest decision I had ever made. But at 18 years old, I knew it was the right decision for me. It was freeing, knowing I had options. Even still, it took long for me to feel like me again until most recently, when I decided to give this speech. So to all the black women and girls who have had abortions and will have abortions, we have nothing to be ashamed of.
I knew I was not ready to have another child, so I religiously took my daily contraceptive pill. Despite that, I became pregnant. I consulted with my doctors, who told me that any future pregnancy would likely also be high risk to me and the child, similar to what I had gone through with Janak. I very much wanted to have more children, but I simply could not imagine going through that again. For me, terminating my pregnancy was not an easy choice, the most difficult I've made in my life, but it was my choice, and that is what must be preserved for every pregnant person.
You can imagine the pain that she felt when her own family told her that she needed to abort her child. But because of her strength, she chose life.
I'm sharing my story even though I truly believe it is personal and really nobody's business, and certainly not the business of politicians. But I'm compelled to speak out because of the real risks of the clock being turned back to those days before Roe versus Wade, to the days when I was a teenager and had a back alley abortion in Mexico. A lot of girls and women in my generation didn't make it. They died from unsafe abortions. In the 1960s, unsafe septic abortions were the primary killer of African American women.
Reproductive health options due to burdensome state laws, and how we can help